Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Long time no podcast episode. Well, has it been a long time? It's been a few weeks. I do apologise for no episodes. I didn't really mention it either. So if you were looking and listening and waiting for them, I apologise. We're back though, we're back. I really said to myself this year, post every week, get on it, go. But if I'm going to be completely honest, sometimes life gets in the way. And when you're doing something as a hobby, which this is a hobby for me, sometimes your hobbies have to be put to the side whilst other things take front and centre. Do you know what I mean? So it was my birthday and I turned 28 and it was a great birthday week. I never really have birthday plans. Usually my birthdays are like, I'll do something on my birthday and then I'll go home for a weekend, see my parents, and then do like something with like a friend on the weekend of some sort. But this week of my birthday, well, not this week, but the week of my birthday, I was constantly go. I think I had one night on my own. The rest of the nights I was busy. So I actually didn't really do anything other than I did a bit of work, but I didn't really have any time for anything else. And then the week after that, I had birthday blues and I was just not really feeling great and I was trying to catch up on anything and I didn't really have time to introduce my hobby back into my life. And then I've dipped into a really weird headspace in the last week, actually in the last few days, but when you're listening to us, it'll be a week. And I just kind of thought to myself, you got to just take a bit of time for yourself sometimes and give yourself a bit of a break. Even if you don't want to, you kind of got to. And especially with something like a hobby, like this podcast is something I love doing, but I have to be in the right headspace to do it because it takes a bit of time. It's not like a quick, easy, post something on Instagram situation. It's a think about it, sit and chat. And I didn't want to just chat about anything because I feel like that's just pointless and that's not really my kind of vibe. The whole point of my podcast is just to chat about things going on and give you guys a bit of advice and chat about life and make sure that you guys understand that life is okay if you're feeling a bit shit. That made no sense. It's okay if you're feeling a bit shit, basically. And I just want you guys to know that if you are feeling a bit shit, it's totally okay. It's happened to me. I'm feeling a little bit weird at the moment. It all actually stemmed, I think, from a bit of anxiety. And I don't really get anxiety. I get anxiety and I always get that. That I can deal with. But anxiety is something I don't get often enough because I don't really go out and get drunk a lot, so I don't tend to have that feeling very often. Anyway, I had it and it just sent me into a really, really, really weird headspace, almost spiraling into weird other things. And I don't know, it was one of those moments where I realized, oh my god, once something gets a hold of your brain, it's so easy to just let it go and it just keeps going. And if you don't have the right people to talk to you at that moment in time, you can really get yourself into a hole. And typically at that one time when I was feeling like this, my best friend was really, really busy, so I couldn't speak to her. So I was just oh my god, going into literal meltdown. And it's weird because there's only certain people I like to talk about my anxiety with. So I went into a bit of a weird headspace and I'm starting to get out of it now. It's been a few days, and I think sometimes you have to force yourself to get out of it, right? And it's been quite hard because yesterday it was sunny and it was good vibes, the type of day that would make you feel good. It's sunny today actually as well, and I wanted to cry. I spent most of my day feeling like I wanted to cry. I did have a little cry. Sometimes it's good to have a little cry. So yeah, I've been not feeling my best, and I've not been feeling a-okay, but just wanted to let you guys know that it's okay if you're also feeling a little bit crap and not your best, because we all have these moments. I can sit here and be oh, my life is great because I can put on a front, but also at the same time, my life isn't perfect all the time. I do suffer with anxiety. I do have these things going on. And whilst my life is amazing and I'm incredibly grateful for that, it doesn't stop those feelings coming in every now and then and, affecting how you feel and making you feel maybe not so great. So I did do some things to make myself feel better. And today I am definitely feeling my better self. I'm feeling more me. I'm feeling more, classic Charlotte. I feel like I can chat, whereas yesterday I felt like all I wanted to do was just get on with what I needed to do and just chill out. So yeah, I've not been feeling good, but good things are coming. We're in spring now. The sun, I'm hoping the sun brings the leaves on the trees, because I'm bored of looking out that window that has no leaves on it. No trees on the no, what? No leaves on the trees. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's good things are coming, you know? And I wanted to today talk about the fact that it's a new season, right? So we've got new opportunities. I always think that a new season brings new things and new vibes and new energy, because, you know, especially in winter as well, like we go through the depths of winter in Jan, Feb, which aren't that great of months. And then you get to March. And this year, apparently winter extended. It didn't say, oh yeah, I want to start now. It just like really wanted to extend into March, and it's now just April and we're just getting some good weather. So, you know, usually March has a little bit of sun. We had none. But I feel like once the weather warms up properly and we actually see more sun, because we've only had a few days of sun really, I feel like it will just bring so much more good energy with it. I think it's time for us to let go of that horrible Jan, Feb, terrible weather, cold. Let go of that. We've got a new lease of life now. It's a new season. I love a new season. I actually love spring. I was born in spring. As you know, my birthday wasn't that long ago. My birthday is the day after spring starts. So I'm like just a spring baby. I feel like a lot of things in my life are like just into something. Like I'm just a spring baby. I'm just into Aries. I'm basically a Pisces and an Aries, because I'm like the first date of it. When I got my degree at uni, I was just into a 2-1. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that? But you know what? Doesn't matter. It's how life is. But I feel like this season just brings a lot of good vibes and a lot of hope. Like there's lots of fun things to come. You've got bank holidays coming. You've got Easter, which is bank holiday also, which will have already been by the time you listen to this. We've got just like, you know, there's just like things happen and things feel good at this time of year, because we're getting towards, oh, that sounded really weird, towards summer. And that's what we're waiting for, right? We're dying for summer. But just to have to not wear layers right now is such a great thing. But today I really wanted to talk to you guys about spring hot girl energy. We're doing a bit of spring hot girl energy. Do you know what I mean? Like, hot girl energy is great. And sometimes, you know, we instantly think of hot girl and we think of hot girl summer. But spring can be a hot girl era too. Spring is also, we can do hot girl spring. Hot girl spring is great. So I thought we could talk about some things that you can do to make your spring a hot girl spring. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I've definitely got into a weird headspace. I stopped going to Pilates as well, which wasn't great. And I think that when spring comes around, when it got lighter evenings, got lighter mornings, all of these things make living a better life. Does that make sense? I think so. Like, I feel like I can do so much more when the days are longer. Like last night, right? I got home from Pilates at about 7. And I was like, okay, well, I need to eat, I need to wash my hair, I need to scrub my tan off, and I need to re-tan, and I need to dry my hair, and I want to chill. That's quite a lot of things. My hair is like a process as it is, let alone scrubbing off my tan. So I got home at 7. I made some dinner. I did make a quick dinner. I had some pasta, but, you know, still. Done by 7:30, right? Then I got in the shower, washed my hair, scrubbed my tan off, etc. That probably took about half an hour, because tan scrubbing always does. Then I, like, you know, moisturize, wait for that to sink in, fake tanned, then dried my hair. By this point, it was 8:30, and I was like, oh, I've done that. And obviously it was dark by 8:30, but it only just got dark, so it made the world of difference to my, like, evening. Usually if it's like getting to 5, 6 and it's dark, I feel like I need to sit on the sofa and chill. Whereas in the summer, I feel like I can do a lot more and I feel good about it, and then I can chill and I still feel like I've had that time to chill. Whereas when it's like winter and it's dark all the time, I just feel the need to sit on the sofa. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if anyone else is like that. But yeah, I think that when it comes to hot girl energy, sorry if you saw me looking down, if you're watching, I have written all these things down and I want to make sure I get them right. It's all about being unapologetically you. I think hot girl energy is just about proving and showing up as the person you are. You don't have to prove it, I guess, but like just turning up as that person you're supposed to be and just living life to the fullest, like strutting down that street like you are the person everyone's looking at. Do you know what I mean? I do that often. That makes me sound so weird. Basically, when I come out of Pilates, when I'm like feeling good, I have my AirPods in and I'm like walking down the street and I think, yeah. Or if you've got a really good outfit on, you're walking down the street and you think, yeah, they're looking at my outfit. Like, that's always a good thing. I love that. I love that feeling. So yeah, hot girl energy, we're bringing it back. Well, it was always here, but we're gonna get into the hot girl energy mood, right? Starting with the first thing, which is working on yourself. I think that in life, a lot of what we do is working on ourselves. We're constantly doing it. It's always a process. Like me feeling this really weird crap self at the moment is something I have to work on constantly. It's always gonna pop up every now and then. That's normal. You're always gonna have these moments where you're gonna feel a bit crap and you don't know why and you can't figure it out. But you just have to work on it. You have to figure out those things that make you feel better and figure out how you can kind of coach yourself out of it, whether you need to talk to someone, whether you just need to realize like the bigger picture or whatever. There's so many things you can do, but you have to figure them out yourself. And I think working on yourself is something we all have to do constantly, because life is changing, things change, people that come into your life change, and your worries are going to change as you get older and what you're doing and whatnot. So you have to really focus on yourself and working on yourself. And sometimes, you know, it's an ongoing thing your whole life, like especially with like anxiety, or maybe exercising is something that you're working on yourself with. That's an ongoing process. I started doing Pilates at the start of this year. Granted, I did take about 3 weeks off over my birthday and because I didn't really have time. And yesterday I went to Pilates and I felt strong, and I've not felt strong this whole time I've done Pilates. Bear in mind I took 3 weeks off, and I felt like I could do it in a much stronger way. Whereas I think if I was at the start, I would have like worried a bit more and I would have been more shaky and I wouldn't have been as strong. So I felt really good about that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm clearly doing something good for my body because I feel better. Like I can feel it in myself. So that was really nice. And that was something I've worked on. I'm still going to continue to work on it because Pilates is something that, you know, is an ongoing thing. Like you're not going to just be perfect and have the best body after like 2 months. Do you know what I mean? It's like an ongoing thing. You've got to constantly work at it. And it's nice to have something that I'm working on myself, but it also helps to clear my mind at the same time, because when I do Pilates, all I'm focused on is the Pilates and all I'm focused on is doing the exercises, and I'm not thinking about anything else. Unless, I don't know, I did have a panic one Pilates class and I had to like stop myself and chill myself out whilst doing the exercises, which was not the vibe. But working on yourself is like the most important thing, I think, when it comes to hot girl energy, because you want to be that girl. You want to be that girl, but you can't be that girl if you don't work on yourself and understand where you're going and how you're feeling and what's actually affecting you and what's going on in your life, and really like taking the time to think about it, I think is really important. A lot of the things I've learned, especially over the last year or so, is that understanding why you feel a certain way can really, really help, and understanding how you can help yourself also can really, really help. Like I've said before, when you're feeling a bit shit, you do know the core reason. Sometimes you'll just glaze over it because you don't really want to think about it. And I was thinking about this for a while over this like last few days when I've been feeling crap. And I was like, what is it that's making me feel like this? Like, why am I feeling so crap? And I realized it was just a spiral of something I thought about during my hangover, and I've spiraled it and made it worse. But because I was so hungover, which I hate being hungover, that was not the time. I almost needed someone to talk to then, so I could have like nip it in the bud and get rid of it. But unfortunately I didn't have that. I didn't think like that. I was not in a good way. Like it really put me off drinking a lot. Like really put me off. I often get like this. Don't know about anyone else. Sorry, going off on a tangent here. I don't really drink that much. I don't mind having a couple of glasses of wine or like going out for drinks. I quite like that. But I don't like getting drunk. When you get drunk and you have a hangover the next day, that's what I hate. I don't mind getting drunk. I love having fun. If it happens, it happens. Like I'm not mad that I got drunk. I'm not mad that I had that hangover. But that hangover was particularly bad. And I was like, do I want to do this again? Not sure. So I think sometimes I get very much like, I'm going to take a break from drinking, because I don't drink that often. Like it's not something I do a lot. I know how to deal with my hangovers, and most of my hangovers just involve sleeping. because that's all I can do when I'm severely hungover. If I'm just a little bit hungover, I can kind of do life. But if I'm quite hungover, there is no way you're getting me to do anything. I'm sleeping, and I'm sleeping until 5, and then I'll feel better. So yeah, it's really put me off drinking though, because that anxiety that I had made me feel like crap, and it's made me as like a person past that weekend feel like crap. So I'm going to put the drinking on the back burner for a bit, because I've drunk so much alcohol, not only because it was my birthday, and when it's your birthday you drink a lot, you eat a lot, that's quite normal, but dating also, when you go on multiple dates with the same person, and you're like, drinking is, I think, something that you do tend to do when you're going out and you're going on dates and stuff like that. You are going to go out and drink, and that's just kind of how it happens. But obviously you don't have to go out and get drunk, you don't have to drink, but I think that's just how it works. You kind of have a few dates where it's not drinking, and then you get drunk, and it's just a whole nightmare. But yeah, anyway, that was a tangent, I'm sorry, but I just had to talk about it, because I think in this world people almost see you as weird if you don't drink, and I don't drink that much in the grand scheme of things, even though in the last month I have drunk a lot. I'm more of a drink a fizzy drink on a Friday evening, but sometimes I do fancy a glass of Prosecco or a glass of wine. It just depends. But yeah, I think alcohol, I'm going to take a step back for a bit, because it wasn't a good vibe, and sometimes you need to say, let's take that out for a bit, let's cut that out for a bit, because we need a breather. Do you know what I mean? The next one is working out. I did mention just now about Pilates and just working your body and giving it that bit of exercise is so good. And you can do whatever you want. I think that exercise is personal to you and to what you feel comfortable with. I, for many years, avoided exercise. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel good about it. I felt awkward. I felt uncomfortable. And it wasn't until I started going to Pilates this year that I actually enjoy going, and I don't feel embarrassed, and I feel like I can do it, and I feel good about it. But it was nerve-wracking at the start, because I didn't feel very strong. I didn't feel very good at it. But as time goes on, you get good at it, and you feel comfortable, and you can go back, and all of those things I think really do help. I'm still not at the point where I'd go to a gym, absolutely not. But I'm at the point where I feel good in my body, to the point where then there's other exercises and other things that I could bring into my life if I wanted to. And I think exercise can be in any way, which form you want it to be, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's going for a walk every single day that's 10,000 steps, whether that's swimming or Pilates or whatever. You don't have to do whatever's popular. I know at the moment people are literally going on about Pilates everywhere. I keep seeing it. I just think it's really good for your body and your mind. I really enjoy it. And it just gets your body properly moving. The Pilates class I go to is FS8 in Oxford Circus, for anyone who's looking for Pilates in London. And it's quite it's not just reformer Pilates. You do weights, you do mat work. It's fast paced. It's not necessarily slow. And it's really it really gets your body moving. It gets your body pumping. And I think that really, really helps me to feel good in that kind of fast-paced exercise, because I didn't enjoy exercise whatsoever. So working out is always good in any way you think suits you and what works for you, because everyone is different. And if you're feeling a little bit nervous about going to any sort of workout, start with something really simple, a little bit easier. Maybe do yoga or Pilates, and then work your way up to other exercises if that's what you're wanting to do, because sometimes going straight into the gym can really be quite a lot, and that way you can kind of ease your way into getting yourself into a workout routine and feeling good about it, because it is difficult. And I think just getting your body moving is the main thing, and I do think walking is one of the best exercises you could do. So if you're not into exercising, you don't like the gym, get yourself walking. Go on a walk every morning. I used to do that actually last year, before I even thought about working out. I used to go on walks in the mornings, as the sun rose. Yeah, that makes sense, right? And I just really enjoyed it. But I don't really live now somewhere where I can see the sunrise in a really beautiful, calm setting. I used to live by the river. Well, it was a 10-minute walk from the river, and it was so calming and nice to start the day like that, and I could just breathe. But I don't really have that where I live now, so can't really do that, but I did love it nonetheless. Next up, another thing that makes us feel like a good hot girl is dressing the way you want to dress, right? So I have been really feeling like this year I really want to, well, this summer in particular, is home in on what I want my summer style to be. I hate summer fashion. It's not my favourite. But I really want to home in and create a summer fashion and summer style that I really like, but in a way in which I want to dress. Like, I think in this world, sometimes we feel like we should dress a certain way or a certain look, or just because that will perform well on Instagram or people will see it and people will like it. And I just feel like if you follow what everyone else is wearing, you don't then wear what you actually want to wear. And obviously, we all get inspired by other people. Like, one of my favourite people is Matilda Djerf. I love her style. I think she just does it so well. Will I copy every outfit she wears? No, because some of the things I don't particularly like. But I love the way she puts everything together and everything looks on her. And I think she just looks amazing. I'm in awe of her. But that doesn't mean to say I'm going to copy everything she does. I'm just going to take snippets. And I think we're in this world at the moment, right, where trends are so big and there's always going to be trends. But if you constantly follow the trends, you only sit in like a one kind of bracket and you don't really dress the way you want to. Obviously, if you like a trend and you see a trend that you like, use it and abuse it and wear it. But dress how you want to dress and don't be fearful of it, because at the end of the day, it makes you unique. Whatever you want to wear, dress how you want to dress. If you want to dress simple and you just want to wear smart trousers and a t-shirt, then do that. There is nothing wrong with dressing how you want to dress. If you do feel like you want to spice it up, then add a few different elements into your wardrobe. Switch it up, like add something new. I think that fashion and the way you dress really shows off you and your personality and can really like add a bit of something to the way you are. And for me, I love expressing myself through my clothes. It's such an important thing. I enjoy clothes. I enjoy buying clothes. I enjoy the way they look. I like putting an outfit together. It's one of my favorite things. So for me, when it comes to like dressing, I want to put a cool outfit on. Sometimes I think my outfits are shit, and then people are like, no, you got really cool style, and I'm like, hang on, what? Like, this is a bad outfit. But then, like, sometimes, you know, I wear an outfit and I think this is a great outfit and I didn't get any pictures in it. And I think, no one got to see it. No one got to see it. And a mirror selfie isn't going to do it justice. But, you know, I love fashion. I think it's a really good way of expressing yourself and a really good way of making yourself feel good and looking your best. And you don't need to spend a fortune on it, which I think is also quite nice. But my top tip when it comes to, you know, dressing how you want, dress how you want, wear what you want. I'm not saying anything is wrong, but be mindful of what you're buying into and what you're spending your money on, because I think that a lot of people get wrapped up in always buying trend stuff or buying from, you know, these more cheaper places, which is fine every now and then, but like, be mindful of the cheaper places you're buying things from and how long those items might last for. But obviously also everyone's on a budget, a different budget even. And, you know, if your budget is very low, then shop where you need to shop. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying that sometimes you need to be a bit more mindful with what you're buying and how long you see yourself wearing it for. Because that's the bit that I think people get caught out when it comes to dressing how you want to dress. Buy what you want, dress how you want, but just be mindful of how much wear you're going to get out of that item. The next one is one of my favourites, one of my absolute favourites, and it's buy yourself those flowers. Flowers are so nice to have in your home. I feel like when I have flowers in my home, I don't know, it just makes me feel quite happy. It makes me feel quite good. These tulips right here. Tulips are my favourite flower, in case anyone wants to know. And I love a tulip. I just think they look so cute and they grow out longer. Like these ones next to me weren't super long. They were really short and they've grown out and it's just so nice. Like, granted, flowers are not cheap, but I do like to add a little bit of like life into my home. And I think flowers are nice. They make you feel good. And I think it's almost like a gift to yourself. If you're not getting a gift from anyone else, if no one else is buying you flowers, then you buy yourself the flowers. I've always bought myself flowers. I love buying tulips. And obviously when it hits tulip season, I'm like, Yes. So I buy them and I love them. I've got some more over there. I've got some over there. Those ones over there are looking a bit dead. But you know, they're okay. They're still thriving. They look huge. Like, I don't know why, but tulips really grow up quite high, and I'm just so here for it. Anyway, buy yourself the flowers. As Miley Cyrus says, I can buy myself flowers. Don't ever feel like you can't do it because you don't have a man or someone to buy them for you. You can do it yourself. I am a strong advocate for independent women. I think independent women are the best kind of women, because we just know how to live life the best. And you can be an independent woman and still be in a relationship and still have a man that helps you out with things. You can still be an independent woman as well. I think a lot of people think you can't be, but you can. Independent women just know what they're doing. If you want flowers, buy yourself flowers. You don't need to wait for a man to buy them for you to show their appreciation for you. No, just buy them yourself. Keep your space clean. This is a big one. Obviously, everyone's different and not everyone is going to be like me and want to have a clean space. But one thing I told myself the other day, because when I was hungover, I looked around and I kid you not, there was crap everywhere. And I'm not a messy person, I wouldn't say. And there was just stuff everywhere. It's like I just like exploded my whole life and just put it everywhere. And sometimes if you're in a rush, yeah, there was going to be mess because I was in a rush before I went out the day before, the night before. But I just looked around and I thought, I feel disgusting. And I think when your space is clean, it makes you feel so much better because you don't have to keep like stopping and being like, all right, I need to spend an hour and clean up the place. You can just like clean as you go. This is the thing, right? You gotta right. There's a box and you need to squash it, but you're like, do it later. Instead of saying do it later, you do it now. I kid you not, I've been doing this for like the last couple of days. And I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. I'm like, oh my God, like if I just squash that, right, earlier, here's an example. My Gusto box arrived, it was delivered to someone else's flat, so I had to go and get it. And then I emptied the box and I was like, oh, I'll just put the cold things in and I'll come back to the other bits. And I literally said to myself, Charlotte, no, just do it now. So I emptied the box. The box hasn't been squashed yet, but I have multiple boxes to squash and they're all in the hallway, so we'll do that all together. But I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. I didn't leave it out and it doesn't make the kitchen look messy. So yeah, keep your space clean because it will make you feel better. As much as I know some people aren't, super clean people, but if you're someone who just wants to feel better and have that hot girl energy and feel like, the best you, having a clean space really does help. Like I said earlier, cut down the alcohol. I think that alcohol I can't speak. Alcohol has so many effects. Is that the right word? It can make your skin go weird. You can gain weight from it. You can do stupid things. It can, be addictive, whatever. I find that it's very easy to get into the habit of drinking alcohol because it feels nice and it's a nice thing to do. But I think that if you really want to protect your energy and feel like the best you, sometimes cutting down the alcohol is really important. Now, it does depend how much alcohol you have. If you're someone who goes out every single weekend and drinks every single weekend, then maybe you might want to think about it and see how much you're drinking and whatnot. If you're someone who has a glass of wine every now and then maybe goes and gets drunk one weekend a month, you're probably fine. You don't need to worry. But if you're thinking, oh God, I have drunk a lot, maybe cut it down. Like I said earlier, I've drunk so much and had so much food and just crap that I'm I need to not drink. But saying that, if I then one evening fancy a glass of wine, then I'm not going to stop myself, but I'm just not going to get myself to the point where I'm drinking loads just for the sake of it. I will always get drunk in the most random of times. I'll be on a date, for example, or just having a few drinks, and then before I know it, I'm drunk, and then just keep going because I love a spontaneous evening rather than a planned one. And that has happened. That's most of the time when I get drunk, it's because it's randomly happened. But yeah, I just need a bit of time away from alcohol because it's not really serving me right now. Spend time with your favorite people that lift you up, people that make you feel good are the people you should always be around. I've been feeling a bit crap and I was like, all I want to do is just see someone that makes me feel good. I saw my friend Tia and we had a nice catch up. We did Pilates together. It was all nice. And it was really lovely to just like see someone that I like love and be like, oh, okay, like that makes me feel a little bit better. Just having a small conversation with her before Pilates made me feel better. And same goes for like texting your friends, or I plan to meet up with my other friend, just because I was like, I need a bit of like just chat with someone. This job can be quite lonely, because I don't spend a lot of time out of my flat. I spend a lot of time here, which I love, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I have to be social, and if I've not got any planned social things in, I need to plan them in. So spend time with your favorite people, be around the people that make you feel good, because those people will lift you up instead of pushing you down or making you feel like you're stupid for feeling any type of way. But those people will give you the good vibes and make you feel great, and you want to be around people that are always going to lift you up and make you feel good, because those people are the people that will continually support you no matter what, and always make you feel good. Therefore your hot girl energy will be on point and you'll be living your best life. Do things that make you feel good. Everyone has things that make them feel good. For instance, a couple of my things are having clean hair, having fake tan, fresh tan, having a nice dinner, maybe having a pamper evening, getting my nails done. What else makes me feel good? Getting a parcel. I don't know what it is about receiving a parcel, but receiving a parcel sends me into like excitement. I'm like, oh, even if I know what it is, I'm still excited about it every single time. So I love getting a parcel. Parcels are always a good one. What else? Oh, I can't think, but like just do things that make you feel good. Like buy yourself flowers if that makes you feel good. Get yourself a Joe and the Juice, maybe get yourself a coffee, treat yourself to a nice coffee. Whatever it is, maybe get yourself a little bit of cake. Oh, I just had this vision, and I don't know where this came from, because I haven't had cake in a really long time, of going to like a really cute patisserie and there being little cakes, and just like buying yourself a nice little cake, getting it in a little box, taking it home and eating it. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah. Do things that make you feel good. Always do it. In every single day, in every single week, do things that make you feel good. Even if it's just something small, like, I don't know, every day you do one small thing. Like maybe that's doing a face mask one day. Maybe that's then cooking yourself a nice dinner. Then maybe having one glass of wine that week, or however many glasses of wine you want, actually. Do what you want. You don't need to listen to me. Or like buying yourself like a nice thing, or reading or something like that. Like do that every single day. Like one little thing every day can really help boost your mood and help you be in a better headspace. Like me washing my hair and putting fresh tan on, new woman. Absolute new woman. Take time to understand your mind and yourself. Like understanding your mind is something we all have to do, and it's very important to do so. But saying that, it's a long ongoing process, because I have suffered with social anxiety my whole life, and anxiety as well. And I mean, I don't know, they don't really class as the same thing, because I would say I get different situations for both. Anyway, and I still am learning how to tackle things and how to understand things and what sets me off and what makes me feel good and what doesn't. So understanding yourself is really important. Understanding your mind is also really important. Understand when you know you're going into a weird panic, or when you're going into a weird spiral. Like understand when that's happening and how you can stop yourself from letting it get any worse. Because I do have those things that I can do, but if I've got myself deep in it, sometimes it's really hard to stop yourself from spiraling. So understanding your mind is really important, but obviously it's always an ongoing thing. And anxiety and whatever it is that you may suffer from, whatever it may be that's like bothering you, it's going to be a process, and you need to understand just how to kind of cope with it. I have so many coping mechanisms for things that you would never know were even anxiety based, like things. Like for instance, this is one that I shared the other day with someone. I once didn't eat anything all day. There's a bit of a story. Didn't eat anything all day. I'd been really busy in London, and I'd gone to meet my mum at her work, and we were going to see my cousin who just had a baby in hospital, to go and visit the baby, because she was the first baby in my family. And I was like, oh my God, amazing, like so excited. And I was fine, right? And then when we were at the hospital, I started to feel really weird. This hospital was like a sauna. And I was like, oh my God, I don't feel good. I fainted. That day I hadn't eaten much. I hadn't eaten anything. And that was the reason for me fainting, right? Because I hadn't eaten anything and there was nothing in my body. My body couldn't handle the heat because there was nothing that had been like, I don't know, there was just nothing in me to kind of keep myself going. Anyway, ever since then, which happened about 7 years ago, ever since then, whenever I leave the house, I always have a snack in my bag, because if I get any sort of wave of thinking I've not eaten anything or I've not eaten enough, I start to panic because I think I'm going to faint. That's like my little thing. So I always have a snack in my bag, and pretty much 99.99999% of the time I am never going to faint. I've never fainted since. Have I? I probably have, but not from that scenario of not eating. But it just sends me into a slight panic. So I always have a snack in my bag. So if I do ever feel panicked, eat the snack, all good. Because then I know there's something in my body. It's always like a mind thing. But like no one would know that. People would just be, oh, got a snack in your bag. That's good. But I always have a snack in my bag. You could ask many people, I'll go on a date and I'll have a snack in my bag. And it's not because I probably will eat it, but it's just there if I ever feel like I need it. And yeah, that's like a little thing that I've kind of given myself. It's just a coping mechanism to deal with that when it happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, I know I'm ready and I've got it there ready. And if I don't have a snack in my bag, I will go out and buy one. So yeah. Or if I haven't, if I know I haven't eaten much and I'm worried a bit, I will then just go out and buy something to eat just to make myself feel better. That's just one thing that I deal with. But there's so many things that everyone has that are like coping mechanisms and things that make you feel better. But understanding your mind is important, understanding what makes you feel a certain way. And actually, when you're having these low moments, thinking about where it's stemming from and really understanding how you've got to the point where you are now. Because sometimes I think that you could have a moment, it could be at work, say you had a really weird moment at work and it made you feel a bit funny and you just kind of forgot about it, but that could have been the one thing that stemmed this whole weird feeling that you might be having, because you might have forgotten about it, but it's still niggling at the back of your mind, and then when something maybe instantly triggers it, you get back into that weird mood. So yeah, understanding your mind is really important, and just understanding where you're coming from. And it's also good to, when it comes to like sharing with other people, like for instance, when I talk about my anxiety, which I find really hard to talk about, it's not easy for me. I don't know why. It makes me really emotional. I've dealt with it my whole life. It's taken its toll on my like younger teen years quite a lot. So I don't really like thinking about it too much, because I've come so far since then. But obviously, I do think it's good to talk about it. But the things that I've learned with my anxiety have been quite literally a process throughout my whole life to where I am now. I, have so many things that I could talk about when it comes to that. But it's been a process, and I feel good about it now, but I'm still learning more things that I need to do and what helped my mind feel better. And the last one that I've added to my list for today is saying yes. Say yes to those last minute plans. Say yes to things and just go out and live your life. It's so easy to say no. Sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you need to say no. Sometimes you have to be alone and not do things and say no to that night out that you don't really want to go on or whatever. But say yes to the things you want to say yes to. Sometimes I wish, like, when things come about, I could say yes. But there was times when you're like, I'm already like, like I've just washed my hair, it's going to take me 2 hours to dry my hair and then get ready, and then it's like it kind of not going to work out. Those kind of moments I hate, because you're like, I could have actually gone out, but I just can't. So yeah, say yes to things, do things, have fun. Don't say no just because of the sake of it. You can still have fun if everyone's drinking. Don't ever feel like you have to drink because everyone else is drinking. Say yes. You never know where that thing's going to take you. If someone invites you to their like birthday thing, you don't really know any of their friends, just go, and if you hate it, you can leave. That's one of the things I always like, and I always like to think about, is if I don't like something and I feel uncomfortable, or if I know I might not enjoy it, I can always leave. There's always that opportunity to leave. Obviously, if you're staying with a friend and that kind of thing, that's a bit different. But if you're going out and you're going back to your own home, you can always leave. There's always an opportunity for you to get up and leave. If you feel uncomfortable or you feel stressed or you don't feel like you want to be there anymore, you can leave. You don't have to force yourself to be there. And I think that's something we should all think about, because I always say this. Sometimes I think, oh, well, if it's really shit, we'll just leave. And then like you almost just know that you can do that. You've told yourself, if you don't like it, you feel uncomfortable, you can leave. So say yes to the things, do them, because you don't know who you're going to meet. You might meet the man of your dreams when out with a group of people. You honestly have no idea. You don't know if you're going to meet someone famous. You might see someone you've not seen in a long time. Like all of these things, you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, make sure you say yes to most things. Don't say yes to everything, because sometimes, you know, you don't necessarily want to say yes to everything. But yeah, hot girl energy is quite honestly coming. Well, I'm going to be on the hot girl energy very soon. I feel like this has already helped me and my mindset, because like I said, I've not been feeling my best, but I feel like giving myself this time to just work on myself and do things, and then I can feel like a better me, and my spiraling brain can A1, 2, 1, do 1. Do you know what I mean? Because like honestly, like that, I don't know what happens sometimes when my brain spirals, and it infuriates me, because I'm like, if I just didn't let it happen, we wouldn't be in this situation. But then at the same time, sometimes you can't stop it. So yeah, remember, you still have time to bring that hot girl energy in, switch your mood around. You've still got time to switch your mood around, always. And make sure that you are following the Instagram and TikTok, which is Still Got Time Podcast. You can email as well at stillgottimepodcast@outlook.com. You can also message me on my Instagram. I am Charlotte Olivia. If I missed your message and you've messaged me, please re-message me, because I will reply. Sometimes I miss messages just because I get quite a few, and I sometimes don't get around to replying, because I'm actually the worst replier ever. So if you have messaged me and I've not replied, please do re-message me and I will reply. Sometimes messages get lost, but anywho, still got time. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I hope this has given you some good vibes and good things to think about, and also know that you're not alone, and you will get better, and you've still got time to get better. So yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I will see you all in next week's episode. Bye.